Hey everybody, Garcia here, and today we're going to be playing as a team trying to decipher our team partners' minds in color code. In this game, each round, one player is going to be the code creator. They're going to see three words that you pull from a bank of words, and they're going to assign a color to each. It is the rest of the team's job to try to figure out what colors the player picked for each of those three words, three categories. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward party game. Let's go ahead and take a look at how it works. I'll see you on the other side. Here I'm going to be showing you the basic game and then a couple of little modules or variants, this and this, that you can add in if you want to, explain later in the rules. So the first thing you'll do is shuffle up all the cards that have words on them, and then you're going to select a number based on the number of players. So for 5 players, let's pretend we've got 15 cards. Then someone becomes the color coder for the round, and that position is going to rotate around the table, with the other players being the ones who are trying to guess the colors. The color coder is going to shuffle these up. They're going to reveal 3 of these into these spots right here. We've got Europe, candy bar, and mountains. And then they are going to, using these cards that show all the colors, they are going to select a card for each of these that they associate with that color. So for example, for candy bar, they might do this brown one, obviously silently. They might do this green one for the mountains. And then for Europe, maybe they'll do, yellow for the bright lights, big cities kind of thing. So they do that, and then I'll just put that aside. And then the rest of the players are going to then, once that's done, discuss which of these colors they'd like to put in each of these different places. So perhaps they'll do, candy bars, the mountains, maybe they select brown for the mountains. Maybe they've got, yellow is correct for the lights and whatnot. And then maybe for candy bar, they go with the bright packaging on candy bars. So maybe they'll select red. Okay? So there we go. Let's say they go with that. And then we are going to reveal these. For every correct match, and in this case we've got the 1, they are going to take this card and they are going to put it right here. And as soon as, if these were switched around, like so, if this one was also correct, this one also goes in that spot. As soon as any one of these numbered spots has 2 cards, we can move on to the next one. And 2 cards will end up there, 2 there, and so on. And this is supposed to be how well the group did. Once that's done, for one they didn't get, that's simply discard it. You can take these back, and then the next player will be the color coder, and they are going to reveal another 3 cards. So we've got vegetable, butterfly, zombie, and they are going to select what colors they'd like these to be. Now, besides that, you can choose to play with these tiles here, and they are the player who is the color coder, the one setting colors for these, is allowed to use one of these per card out here per round. But then they're gone once you've used them, and there's 2 of each. This one, which really can go anywhere, doesn't actually matter where it goes, simply allows that player, so for example, let's say, they've got that, and they're going to do maybe this one and this one. This card here, this tile rather, allows them to show a card that they are not using. Just put that aside to let the team know this one is not one of the ones you need to worry about. This one here allows them to put that somewhere and point at someone else in the team, one of the guessers, to imply a special connection with why this color was chosen. So perhaps it's someone you watch zombie movies with, and you put this here and point at them to give them a clue like, hey, you should know what this is. I'm drawing a correlation here to you specifically. And then lastly, this one allows the guessing team to put 2 colored discs in that spot. So for example, the players might, let's go ahead and switch these just for the sake of the argument. The players might say, okay, well, vegetables is definitely going to be that, but maybe we want to put brown there too because we have 2 guesses. Then butterfly, John was pointed at, and John has gone butterfly watching with this person. They're like, oh, well, the butterflies are, there's a lot of blue butterflies. Okay, sure, why not? And then zombies, it's maybe gray, right? It can't be black, so it's going to be gray. Maybe white? No, we'll go with gray. There we go. Then this is revealed. And since they are all correct, either one of these would have matched, then they are going to end up over here. 1, 2, and the next one goes in that spot there. These tiles are for the guessing team. If they feel pretty good about one of these being exactly right, like for example vegetables, they could have put that there. And it, if correct, would have counted as a card as well. So this level is now also complete, and they can start in on this one here. And you can have one of these per card, as well as one of these per card. Though the players, again, only have 3 of these, and if one is wrong, you guessed to here, and the color didn't actually match, then you lose the tile. So there is that. That's one thing you can play with. And then the last thing you can do is use these right here, in which you are going to unlock one of these colors after each level of the first 3 is complete. So as soon as there are 2 cards here, then the next player who's the color coder, the one giving the clues, can take one of these, give the guessing team the matching token, and incorporate this into the cards they'll be using to create the clues. Once you complete this level, you'll pick another one, and the last one comes into play at level 3 over here. That's basically it. You are trying to get all the way up here. You are trying to do the best you can, really. And obviously, once you get to level 6, if you have more than 2 cards, then you can simply stack the rest of them there as far as you can. It doesn't matter there. That's all there is to it. Try to work together, try to give good clues, use the tokens smartly, and try to have some fun as well. Let's go ahead and go back up top. So that is Color Code. As you can tell, pretty straightforward party game, though sometimes it does get in its own way with some of the extra modes and tokens and what have you, whereas it feels like perhaps it could have gotten out of its own way and allowed for simply a straightforward, goofy, lighthearted party game without adding too much on, okay? Let's go ahead and talk about it, shall we? Starting from the top with the theme and the setting. Well, this one's pretty easy. There is no setting here. There's no theme, which I think is good. I think if they would have attempted to add parameters to this to set it in a real-world place or to give it some sort of meaning, that would have been yet another thing that gets in the game's way. So this was well done. It's about colors. That's it. The aesthetics. Good quality cards. Small but well made. The tokens and all the cardboard pieces are good quality as well. Rulebook is nicely laid out. Makes sense. Easy to comprehend. No issues there. Replay value. There's plenty of words. You have a nice stack here. Each of these cards does only have one word printed both ways, upside down to, or right side up to both sides. So that's good. More words would have, of course, been nice if they could have put more words on the same card, but that might have led to some confusion. So that's well done. But yes, everything's well handled, and I think there's enough in here to give you some nice replayability, as well as including a few blank cards where you can create whatever you want to. So that's well done. The game arc. I think the game arc is fine. I think if you do the whole unlocking extra colors thing, it's a cute idea. The scoring yourselves is one of those things, like in many party games, I suppose, that sort of becomes meaningless pretty quickly. It doesn't matter. We're just sort of trying to see if we can guess the colors you picked. It's not an important structure, I suppose. And I think ultimately that's a big part of this game. There's a lot of structure there. There's a lot of rules and things you can do. This token means this. When you do that, you point to someone and you do the thing. It's like, just let me pick colors. Come on. It's a party game. So I think the game arc doesn't really have any particularly meaningful or interesting progression, but is it supposed to? Not really. Does it outstay its welcome in any way? No, it's fine. I think the length is fine. And you can adjust that, right? You do more cards if you feel like keeping going. If you can do fewer if you want to quit early. It's a party game. The ease of play. Again, I give this one a middling score because there are a lot of little things that I think get in the way of just fun. Not badly, and they are optional, so you don't have to do it. But it seems like sometimes some of those tokens don't always feel like the most fun thing they could have picked. The thing that prioritizes fun. Not too long ago, I reviewed Monikers, a party game which is sort of based on charades or, based on guessing what someone is trying to get you to guess, much like Time's Up. The thing about Monikers is it very clearly puts fun first. Oftentimes at the expense of clear rules and extra things. But it works because it's a party game and it's supposed to be sort of goofy and lighthearted and not be taken seriously. This one seems to have a pretty rigorous extra number of rules and things going on that sometimes do get in the way. The biggest, weirdest, sort of egregious example of that is the token that says you put that one out, you point at someone, and it's supposed to be a clue that relates specifically to them. Well, sure, maybe. I mean, also, are you not supposed to play with strangers? And then the one that says you can reveal an extra card, and that one wasn't picked. Well, that one doesn't matter which card it's tied to. So things like that, just extra structure that doesn't really seem important or even necessary half the time. And then lastly, tactics, luck, strategy. At the end of the day, the main question is the game fun? Do you have a fun time playing this party game? Does it lead to a fun party-like atmosphere? I would say yes, largely. The game's okay. I think it's a decent little game. There's certainly been a lot of games out there, at least considering how small the range of what I'm talking about is, that deal with colors, that are party games in which you guess colors, you're trying to assign colors to something. There's been quite a few. I think this one is in the pack. It's a solid one. It's a fun one, but it does have sort of more persnickety rules than many of those games do. Those games tend to be clean enough to get out of their own way and just let you mess around with the colors and the guessing and the silliness of this sort of concept. When I find myself halfway through the very first game of this, already thinking of alternate rules for the tokens and different alternate ways to play the game, that's when I know that the target wasn't quite hit dead center. So, at the end of the day, I have a good time with it. I enjoy the game. I think it's a good one. I think for some groups, it's going to be a hit. Especially if you don't like the tokens, you can ignore that. If you want to throw in the extra colors right from the beginning, throw them in. You want to, whatever. Like I said, I've already come up with different ways in which I want to mess with this. But the game isn't spectacular. It's not the kind of party game I would say, ooh, you gotta get this. This is going to be a slam dunk no matter where you bring it out. This one doesn't quite have that appeal. And there's been a lot of party games in the last few years that do feel that way. So for me, Color Code here is going to get a 6 out of 10. I think it's a good game. I think it's fun. I think you can definitely enjoy this. I just don't know if it's one you need to add to your party game closet, of games. One that's going to be coming out and always being a hit, no matter who you play it with. But it's fun. I would recommend if you find yourself at an event where you can give it a go and see what you think of it. All right? So that is, again, Color Code, 6 out of 10 from me. Thanks, everybody, for checking this out. I appreciate it, and I will see you on the next one.